It won't be a stylish marriage. Daisy,
Yeah, I can never love you because
I can't afford. I'm crazy.
With where I found the sample. If you're not a music person, where I find the sample always surprised. It's the coolest thing.
It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage.
Searched up public domain songs because I didn't want something that was like not royalty free, and public domain songs you could use however much you want. So my Travis Scott video got claimed for copyright, so I'm just being safe. The other thing that shocks people about making music this simple is that YouTube to MP3 is everything. Just copy and paste the URL into the home page and download it. You get all of the audio from the entire YouTube video, which I wanted for this case. Fun fact, by the way, this song sucks. I think this is hot trash, barely listenable music. Sounds old and it's hardly listenable, and I took bits and pieces that I liked of it. But before I do that, let me talk about this. How does David beat Goliath? How do you make a private space program? And how does the kid who gets the stuff at Goodwill come with the best fits a lot of the time? Which guarantees happens at your high school sometimes. It's sticking to the fundamentals, and in music, in sampling, you could do everything. You could God tier sample Kanye like pitch, rhythm, and harmony. The word of the day is fundamentals. We talked about pitch, rhythm, and harmony, and rhythm is a huge one. We're gonna start out with that. I call this lassoing in the tempo, and here's how to do it. Basically what I did was stretch Soundtrap to fit this sample, and then I stretched everything back. And it looks like a lasso where you're coming all the way out and then coming all the way back. Once I had the file from YouTube to MP3, I threw it in our program Soundtrap and then stretched the Soundtrap tempo to the tempo of the original song. I sat there with a tap tempo metronome app that you could get free in the app or Google Play Store, and that helped me find the original tempo for the original song. It was about 110, I think. Then once I turned on the metronome, I could hear that everything was synced up. I stretched back the sample. This controls the entire beat, including the sample that we just put in, to whatever tempo we want. And I set it to about 133, pressing the adjust button. You have total control over the rhythm now. Then once I had it on tempo, I pulled out little parts of the crap song that I like. I got these little pieces.
Daisy, I'm half crazy. I can't afford Daisy.
This is not how you have to do it. This is how I did it. If you notice it, it's cool, like listening back, small little thing. Just like hold up for a second, because like the parts that I ended up picking when I heard them actually kind of made a story on their own. I can't afford to love Daisy, and that's kind of cool. She could be like one of those judgmental from Don John with Scarlett Johansson. Remember that? All of her friends are like, yeah, he's got money, and they're chewing the gum and everything. Like super hot, but like judgmental. Anyway, like I got inspired by that little part, you know? So I just went with that. After chopping them up, here's a major part.
Daisy.
Here's where you actually start making a difference, basically, in the song. I grabbed myself a free piano app that you could get on your phone, had that next to my computer when I was recording, tapping the notes as I was going, and took note of the notes that the sample chops were making. So I just play the note, play it on the piano. If I press an A, that means it was playing an A note, so I just kept track of the pitch that everything was at, the other fundamental. Big key here that super helps with this is writing down the name of the note that they are on these little track parts. You just come up right here and rename the clip, and then I named the clips what notes it played. Now you have like pieces to play with that make sense. Quick recap of this entire beat. We're 90% of the way through. Took the sample in, listened to the rhythm, changed the rhythm for what we want. We took the pitch of them and are going to change them now to the notes that we want. We talked about pitch and rhythm, and now it's harmony time. The trickiest one of them all, making the sample work with the other instruments that you have. Worth noting that I do have a bunch of music theory knowledge. I went to college for it. They were my favorite classes at Columbia. One thing that they did do was hammer music theory into my head, so it came more naturally to me to find a key for this stuff. You do not need advanced music theory knowledge to sample chops well. You need a good ear, and you need good feel, and you need experience and experimentation, but it is not a requirement but it helps. We'll talk more about music theory in this channel, but don't worry about it now. For the nerds, here's the chord progression that I ended up finalizing with. How did you make what did you do though? I remembered the notes that were playing just to make the key that the original song was in present in my mind. If I know the pitches and the key of the original song, it would be so easy to add new elements on top of it, but you could experiment on top once you know them as well. If the original beat had a bunch of A sharps, we're gonna put a bunch of A sharps in the drums. Here, one more thing I wanted to mention before, change the pitch of each note if they don't fit. So A sharps and Fs are going to work together because they're 7 semitones apart. You could just change something to an F if it's close to an F. Stuff like that. Making the smallest changes possible with this change pitch option so it sounds good. That's a lot of what harmony is. Yeah. Alright, on to the next part. What other instruments did we add onto the beat so that the sample worked and hit like a normal trap beat? My priority was 808s and drum sounds because we have an awesome drum kit, which I'm about to talk about, tuned to the keys of the song, or just mirror some notes that we have in the original. And especially the 808 sounds, the low sounds are priority when tuning. The low stuff being tight makes you have such more of a professional sound. Let me grab this off. Next part for all this stuff was the Cymatics drum pack. I'm going somewhere. That's why I took the phone off, by the way. Okay, to explain it, let me explain why I'm in the car, for one, and something that like I've never talked about in the channel, but like I really think is a major point when doing this stuff. I don't think I've ever mixed a song. The channel is called music mixing and everything like that, you know, like obviously I've mixed a song and obviously people who watch my stuff have mixed songs before, but I don't think that's the best word for what we're doing. I'm obviously exaggerating, but like what I think I'm doing, what's called mixing a lot of the time, is engineering or something like that. You get sounds to sound how they're supposed to when you engineer, right?
That was super important.
It's like, well, how do you get a good sound out of a microphone? To me, that's like not mixing. That's something totally different. That's trying to make the best out of a bad situation, okay? So if we have good samples, the Cymatics drum pack is awesome. I don't need to do a bunch of what I teach on this channel. Quick, this is not an ad for Cymatics. It's free, so you like wouldn't be paying for anything, so I don't know, like I couldn't give you a discount code or they wouldn't do this for some reason. Not an ad, but just a dope pack. Keep listening. If you want to make good music, the quickest way here and the best thing that I could tell you is to have good music before you add effects. That's why the vocal performance about any microphone that you have is super important in getting a good vocal sound, because you're not going to get a good vocal sound unless you have a good performance. That was also like really important. And there's a ton of good free stuff out there that people are just overlooking, and the Cymatics pack is a huge one. 808 kick, snare, hat, all come from that pack, and this loop in the second section, which you haven't heard of this beat yet, and all the risers. And I'm here in this car because I'm actually mixing it now.
I can't afford.
Huge part is the sub and the bass to make sure the kick and the 808 balance hit right, because I can't hear that in my headphones and speakers. They actually don't go that low. Cars go as low as like 20 hertz sometimes, and computer speakers often don't even studio monitor. They're just not big enough. That's why people have subwoofers sometimes. Checking in the car, it's a key part about making everything work. Once you're at that point where it's so subtle that you need to car test things, you're at a good place. Downloading a bunch of free sample packs needs to happen if you're going to make things for free. We are not going to be able to show people that we could do this without any money put in if we don't take advantage of everything that's free. We can make anything on Soundtrap. We cannot make anything with only Soundtrap. Does that make sense? Don't limit yourself with this stuff. Start with the Cymatics. Download as many as possible. I can't, because your poor boy has all of these video files on his computer, and this thing is going to blow up if I put another file on here. So take what you can while it's free and go produce some hot stuff. Just make sure to give me some points. I'm just joking. Unless, I don't know. Thanks for watching though. Like and sub down below. I like really go, like please like it. Please, that really helps me. with this type of videos. Just thank you guys for watching though. I appreciate you guys. Hope you got value out of it. I'll see you in the next one.